What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik. I'm the hardest working man in sports and gaming. MLB The Show on Next Gen. Now, MLB The Show and most other sports video games already look pretty amazing, especially if you've played sports titles for years like I have. That said, Sony and Microsoft are about to charge us hundreds of dollars for upgrades, and believe it or not, there is still room for improvement on the visual side, even though current gen consoles have been maxed out on this front. Let's talk a little bit about some specific areas where MLB The Show can improve visually. Ballparks. While Sony currently prides itself on delivering accurate digital replicas of every ballpark, there are always a few things missing from the real life stadiums. I would wonder or even expect for there to be some level of access to nearly identical digital plans of every ballpark available to the MLB on some level. If those plans could be converted somehow into structured building tools that Sony San Diego could have access to, that seems like something possible with next gen technology. When you look at grass and dirt in the show, things already pretty much look attractive, but based on some of the things that I've seen created with the PS5, and we might be seeing something next level in this regard. Individual blades of grass, chunks of dirt that don't disintegrate over time, and markings that remain on the mound and along the base paths. These are the kinds of details that I expect to see. What about the equipment? Everything from helmets to gloves, bats, shoes, the ball, and uniforms, they need to be taken to another level. When you take a look at some of the images included in this video with similar technology to what we'll have in the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, it stands to reason that the textures of helmets should even be detectable. Different glove materials should be visible, such as leather and Velcro. The spikes, the cleats, whatever you want to call them, ought to have visible tongues and or strings with logo textures in different materials depending on the brand. The ball stitching may even be more recognizable too. Uniforms, they have the most room for improvement of anything in this section though. Because right now the floor of jerseys and pants, they could stand to look more natural, and that's even the case for things like manager jackets and hats. While none of this impacts gameplay, it's all about immersion. And when we're talking about going to next gen, immersion and increasing that aspect of the game is going to be a big part of the leap. Gameplay, we're looking for solid gameplay on any generation. But when we go to a next gen and when we go up to a console and we advance in technology, that visuals and that presentation and the immersion is what really sells it for us. Now let's talk about player renders. This is obviously last but not least, but we have to talk about the players. The biggest weakness in MLB The Show on current gen is the area of renders, and we're talking about hair and skin tones primarily. The texture of the hair, especially for non-African Americans or Dominicans, is simply not as good as it could be or should be expected to be in next gen when you're talking about moving up to that next generation. Now, this is likely the area that I'm most looking forward to seeing on the next gen level, because that's where I think you'll be able to see the biggest leap if we get the type of results that I expect. The number of available skin tones right now, that has to be increased. As of now, there always seems to be a skin tone for a creative player that you just can't quite get. And there are quite a few players whose actual skin tones live in those gaps. So hopefully on next gen MLB The Show, those gaps are closed. Lastly, let's not forget about the fans. For years, the show had the best crowd. The people in the crowd, the fans, looked the most realistic. But the gap has been since closed by EA's NHL series. If you take a look at the fans in the NHL series, you'll see they look just as good, if not better, than what Sony is doing with their crowd in MLB The Show. Now moving in the next gen, every game, so I don't care if it's Madden, it's 2K, it's FIFA, it's NHL, it's MLB The Show, every game figures to have an upscaled sideline or crowd or what have you. This is something that the show can improve on going in the next season, and that's what I would love to see. So from a visual standpoint, if I left anything out, absolutely hit up the comment section. Tell me something that you're looking for from an upgrade standpoint as it pertains to visuals. That is all that I have for you guys this time. Be sure to like this video and don't forget to subscribe for more of the Diamond franchise experience. Peace.